Build a business online. Dominate the internet. Harness new technology. Master entrepreneurship. Turn your website into an automated business machine. WebDesk, your website and online business help desk.
Hello again. In this video, I'm going to help you understand all about e-commerce because it can be quite confusing. There's a lot more to it than you think there should be, but we're going to make it really simple, all about e-commerce, merchant accounts, and shopping carts. So let's jump right into it here. You'd think that it would be pretty easy to have somebody that wants to buy something from your website and be able to have that purchase go through and money gets deposited into your bank account. But there's actually several more steps involved, and so that's why it can get confusing. First of all, you need a shopping cart. A website and a shopping cart are separate and should be separate, but it shouldn't be complicated to integrate the two. A lot of times there's a lot of shopping cart companies out there that have a lot of strengths and they have a good shopping cart, but they also try and convince you to manage your website from within the shopping cart, and that doesn't work so well, especially if you want a custom or a real professional website. But moving on, a shopping cart allows a customer that's on your website to select the product or service that they want and add it to their shopping cart. They can then proceed to purchase that by entering their credit card information. The next step is the gateway. Once they've entered their credit card information, it's a gateway that takes that credit card information and processes it to see if there is authorization to proceed with that transaction. So once that is authorized, then the gateway will then process that credit card, pull the funds, and send it to a merchant account. Now, the merchant account is where the funds will reside for a short time, and you can set it up to automatically then transfer the funds from that merchant account to your bank account or your credit union or checking account, whatever for your business. So these are the steps, and it's a little bit, as you can see, it's a little bit more involved than you might have thought originally just to make a simple sale on your website. Now the simple way, the simplest way that I recommend in getting started, it's the way that I used when I got started, is PayPal. The reason PayPal is such a good place to start is because it takes care of three things in one. PayPal is the shopping cart, it's also the gateway, and it's also the merchant account. So you can set up an account with PayPal, and we'll go over some other reasons, advantages of PayPal, especially early on. But it makes it pretty simple to where you can add e-commerce to your website without having to do three separate steps, because it takes care of them in one, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, when you want to go into more advanced, and I'll show you some reasons for my recommendations here. I recommend using ProCart, that you can find information about it at procart.org, as the shopping cart. It is by far and above the best shopping cart for your website, and I'll cover reasons for that. And then I recommend beanstream.com for the gateway and merchant account. They take care of both those things combined, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So I'll go into that right now. First of all, when you look at custom website design, let's look at the top row there for custom website design. You can do that with PayPal. You can do that with ProCart. VirtueMart, another popular shopping cart out there, it makes it really hard to do custom website design. You can, but it just makes things really hard. Zencart's the same, and with Shopify, you can't. Shopify is another popular shopping cart. Now, if you want to have one shopping cart for multiple websites, meaning you might have several different marketing channels where you've actually got several different businesses online, in a lot of cases you have to purchase or set up multiple shopping carts for for those multiple websites. In the case of PayPal or ProCart, you don't. You can set up one shopping cart and use that for multiple websites, and that makes it amazing. With VirtueMart, Zencart, and Shopify, you have to set up a new one for each website, and that can get quite expensive. SSL certificate is very, very important when you have e-commerce, because if people are going to enter their credit card information, you want to make sure that that's very secure. And a good SSL certificate through VeriSign or something like that. It's quite expensive. You pay for it on an annual basis. PayPal, those come included. You don't even have to worry about paying for that. Procart.org, that comes included. Virtumart and ZenCart are not, so that's certainly a disadvantage there. You have to, one, it's a pain to set up, a real pain, and then two, you obviously have to pay for that year after year. Shopify does have that included in there. If you want to be able to email products and have people purchase a product directly from their email, the only one that you can do that with is Procart.org. So that's one great advantage of Procart. Another one is you want it to be really easy to add new products to your website to be able to sell. With PayPal, the time frame on that, 5 minutes. It takes you 5 minutes, maybe between 3 and 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. You added a few products before, maybe on the 3 minute side. With Procart, I would say between 1 and 3 minutes. It's even quicker to add a product. And if you're adding bulk products, you could, that's how much it would take from start to finish to add one product. If you're adding a big list of products, you can actually upload lots of them. You can't do that with PayPal, but you can do that with Procart. So it becomes very, very easy, even if you've got large masses of products. With Virtumart and ZenCart, it is pretty complicated. Shopify, I put yes there, but it's not quite as easy. Not quite as easy as Procart. I'd probably say it's a step above PayPal in the easiness there. And then the ability to modify products, it's actually not very easy in PayPal. It's kind of like you have to recreate a new product in PayPal is probably the easiest way to do it, and so it takes time. With Procart.org, you just want to lower the price or something. It's real easy to do. It'll take you 2 seconds. It's pretty difficult with Virtumart, ZenCart, Shopify. It's actually pretty easy. Now, SEO friendly, this is a big issue. With PayPal, that you can actually, it doesn't really hurt the SEO at all. It doesn't really help. So I put a yes there because your websites will stay SEO friendly using PayPal. I'm going to skip over Procart for a second. Virtumart and ZenCart, terrible. They make it really hard to do the on-site optimization for your website. Shopify, it's even worse than that. Makes it really, really hard. You don't even own your website there. It's just you're renting your website space there with Shopify. Now going back to Procart.org, it allows us to do some phenomenal things. Google absolutely loves our websites when we use Procart.org for the shopping cart. Ownership of websites, if you use PayPal or Procart.org, Virtumart or ZenCart, all four of those allow you can still own your website, have full control over it, back it up when you want. So there are some advantages to Shopify, but that's definitely a great disadvantage with Shopify is you can't own your website. You never really own it. And so that's why big businesses typically, big businesses will typically, you'll never see them using Shopify. And then there's a lot of advanced features that, each business is different. There's going to be different needs. So that's why PayPal is always good to have as an option, but for advanced features, you're going to need a more advanced shopping cart. So PayPal is kind of the one that would be crossed off that list. So that's the reason why I recommend PayPal from the beginning. I'll go into some fees as well because we're just talking about it from a shopping cart standpoint here. We go back to the previous slide. If we just look at it from a shopping cart point of view, but PayPal also includes the gateway and the merchant account. And so we'll look at some other reasons why PayPal is good from the beginning as well. If we look at this screen right here, you'll see that there's most merchants will have a setup fee. PayPal, Google Checkout, Intuit, they don't have setup fees, so that's kind of a nice feature there. Most of the others, it's pretty common to have a $100 setup fee. Now, I am now with Beanstream. I've been through all of these. There's strengths to all of them, but there's definitely weaknesses. Authorize.net was the second to last one that I went with, and I was surprised. I thought that was going to be my resting place, my final merchant account, just because they're so big, they're so well known. Had a terrible time with them. Their accounting is terrible, the reporting is terrible, the fees are terrible, outrageous. It was really hard for me to keep track of things and do bookkeeping, so I switched over and I went to Beanstream. I've been very, very happy with them. And one secret that I'll tell you is because my business, is not a brand new business. We've been around for a while and we have good revenue. They really wanted my business, and so they waived that setup fee for me. So just always, ask. It doesn't hurt to ask on that. But typically there is a $100 setup fee. They just waived it for me. Now on the monthly fees, here's another good thing about PayPal and Google Checkout. There's no monthly fees. You don't have to pay monthly fees. There are advanced levels of the PayPal and Google Checkout. I can't really think of reasons why you'd want to use those. If you want an advanced shopping cart, in that case, you'd want to move on to something like Pro Cart. So for all intents and purposes here, there's no monthly fees. The reason I went with Intuit is I wanted a virtual terminal, and it worked, but the fees are pretty expensive, and all the other features as far as using it as a shopping cart were not very good. The other thing I'll mention, comparing PayPal and Google Checkout, PayPal is way more popular. That's just in my experience. There's not as many people that actually have a Google Checkout account, and so but depending on your marketplace, maybe it is a lot more prevalent. I've seen it out there in different niches, but certainly not in mine. PayPal is definitely a lot more popular. First Data was a little bit expensive, and I only had a few different features. If I wanted more features, be able to do more and more things, they would tack on an additional $10 each month for each additional feature. At BeanStream, what I pay now is just $25 a month, and that includes everything. There's even a lot of features that I don't use that are included, that if down the road I wanted to use, I wouldn't have to pay any additional costs. Now, if you look at the transaction fees, starting out, that fee at PayPal or at Google Checkout, that's not too bad. It's just per transaction because there's no setup fee or monthly costs. That's pretty nice. I thought that Intuit there was pretty high. I thought that when I went over to First Data and Authorized.net, that would be the advantage of paying those monthly fees and the setup fees, is because my rates would go down. They didn't. They actually went up. And I debated with them and tried to, a whole bunch of different things. Anyway, my personal experience, those are the rates that I was getting there. Couldn't believe it at Authorized.net. BeanStream is phenomenal. You can see the rates. They're between 2.1 and 2.4%. Pretty awesome. Another thing is we go back right here from merchant account to bank account. How long does it take for money to get from your merchant account to your bank account? With PayPal, Google Checkout, it's a pretty quick 2 or 3 day turnaround time. Intuit took a bit longer. Don't know why, it just took longer. First Data is about the same. Authorized.net was even worse. It surprised me, and it was really confusing because, say I made 3 sales on one day, then a week later I'd get paid for 2 of them, and I wouldn't know which 2 it was. It was really confusing. The reporting was pretty bad, so it was really rough. With BeanStream, it's actually simple and straightforward. It takes 2 days for that money to get deposited into my bank checking account. Now, as far as, and I've kind of mentioned this already, but as far as that 5th row, they're easy to understand in terms of understanding the data that you're looking at, understanding where the fees are coming from, and the reporting of that. PayPal is very simple, very straightforward, very easy to understand. Same with Google Checkout. Intuit was a little bit difficult, so I put them as hard. First Data, the same as hard. Authorized.net was impossible. I don't know why they're so big. I went with First Data because they were recommended to me by my credit union, but went with Authorized.net after that because they're the big player, and I thought they were the best. I expected them to have the best platform, but it was terrible. And so after that, I just did a lot of research and found recommendations from BeanStream from a lot of different sources, and so that's why I went to them. And it's very easy. That was one of the things I looked into. I wanted to make sure that it had all these benefits. And then as far as simple accounting, that was a big thing I was looking for as well, and that's why I settled in on BeanStream, because it was very, very simple and easy to understand. So as are PayPal and Google Checkout, they're pretty easy to understand, but as far as some of the advanced features and things like that, obviously it couldn't do. And there's people that might not want to have they don't have a PayPal account, they don't want a PayPal account, and if that's all you offer on your website is the ability to purchase products through PayPal, that might turn some people off. So what I currently do is through ProCart, they can make a purchase and they have the option to whether to check out as normal or actually check out through PayPal. So ProCart allows you to do that. And so most of my purchases come through bean stream when they make a purchase through Procart. But some, I'd say 10-20% of the time the purchase will come through PayPal, because it is a convenient option for some people. So hopefully this has been helpful. The biggest key here is understanding this diagram, and when you understand kind of the process you've got to go through, it makes it a little bit simpler. So hopefully this video is helpful, and certainly if you have any more questions on this, email me and I'll help you out.
Webdesk, your website and online business help desk.